Computers are playing a big role in our daily lives. They are in our pockets, in our houses, and even in our cars. Some people are spending most of their time with their computers. Well, the question is, where did this device come from? Computers had a different meaning for the people that live in 19th and 20th centuries. For them, the computer was a machine which could calculate big numbers. Back in the 19th centuries, the calculator was designed from gears. Those computers could only calculate the whole numbers. But the idea of having a programmable computers was published in 1936 by Alan Turing. The Turing machine was a hypothetical machine in which an input will be processed by a machine, and at the end, the machine will give an output. The machine could be programmed, and it will do some certain task. This idea led us to bring those programmable computers in our lives, and give them more difficult problems to solve. The first electronic computer that was ever built was ENIAC, which stands for Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer. This computer was built in 1943 and it fills a 24 square meter room. That's like filling up your living room with an 80 years old computer. It was designed to calculate artillery firing table for the United States Army, which was the start of the journey of computers in our society. From that on, the development of computers grew rapidly. Unlike ENIAC, the computers in the 50s had transistor instead of vacuum tube, which optimized the size of computers. In 1953, IBM developed the first computer language, and in 1964, Douglas Engelbart showed that with a mouse and a graphic user interface, the computer can be a tool for the general public. But still there was no PC until 1975, when Altair 8800 hit the market. In the following year, Apple, the company that was created by Steve Jobs, published their first product ever, Apple I. And in 1981, IBM released Acorn, which uses Microsoft MS-DOS as an operating system. The first generation of personal computer was not something special. The floppy disk was the tool for sharing data, and if you wanted to do something on those machines, you should know some specific command. The customer could see the empty place of the graphic user interface, so in 1983, Apple released their latest product, the Lisa, the first personal computer with a mouse and graphic user interface, which was a big failure for Apple due to the pricing. It cost $10,000 back in 1983, and almost nobody could afford it. It's like buying an iPhone 13 Pro Max for $25,000. But the Lisa paved the way for Macintosh, which was released in 1984, and it cost $2,500, which is more affordable than the Lisa. The prime time of personal computers started in 1985, when Microsoft released Windows 1.0, which could compete with classic macOS. In 1986, IBM released their Compact Portable, a machine with MS-DOS, and in 1987, Microsoft released Windows 1.01. In the same years, there was a productivity app that was released for Macintosh, which we know as PowerPoint. 3 months later, Microsoft bought the app for $14 million and made it a part of Microsoft Office, which they released in 1989 for classic macOS and in 1990 for Windows. At the end of the 80s, there were almost 54 million personal computers in the USA, and the major of them were running MS-DOS. In 1990, Microsoft released Windows 3.0. And in 1992, they released Windows 3.1. Windows became the default operating system shipped with the new PCs, putting DOS in the backseat. Although the World Wide Web was created many years ago, in 1995 it comes into the light, and in the same year, Microsoft launched their Windows 95. In 1996, Apple bought the company NeXT, which was created by Steve Jobs, and they brought Steve back into Apple. At that time, Apple was struggling, so Microsoft decided to invest into Apple, and they copied the look and the feel of Apple's operating system. In 1997, after the comeback of Steve Jobs, Apple released the Powerbook G3, which was the fastest laptop of its time. From that time, companies developed their software and hardware with an unbelievable speed. In 1998, Microsoft published Windows 98. 2 years later, they released Windows 2000, and in 2003, they released Windows XP. I remember our first computer had Windows XP as the operating system. Anna had a very hard time with the sound effect on this version of Windows. In 1997, Apple released their Powerbook G3, and 2 years later, they introduced Powerbook G4, the most powerful desktop on the planet at that time. In 2001, Apple delivered Mac OS X, showing off the new powerful operating system. The rest of the history of computers is known to everyone, from the first iPhone to the latest version of Windows, which is Windows 11. There were Windows Vista, 7, 8, and 10. There are Samsung, Lenovo, Sony, AMD, Huawei, and many other companies which are developing our computers. We are using our computers for hours throughout the day. This includes our phone, console, and even our TV. And these devices come a long way throughout our history. The history of computers is the beginning of this channel. Electron tries to show the science and the beauty behind our calculator. My name is Rahul Niazi, and I'm a computer science student in Germany. Please subscribe to the channel and follow me on social media. I'll see you next time.